Okay, everyone, listen up, because there's a really big tech shift happening pretty soon, actually. It's going to affect millions, probably tens of millions, of computer users.
Yeah, it's a significant one.
We're talking about Microsoft officially ending support for Windows 10.
That's right. The end date is set.
And that date, you really need to mark this one down, is October 14th, 2025. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hang on, Windows 11's been around for ages, like almost 4 years.
It has, yeah, since late 2021.
And you're right. But here's a really interesting part, the kicker. Back in January 2025,
Right.
over 60% of desktops were still on Windows 10.
Still the majority, even that.
Exactly. And by June, the numbers got closer, almost neck and neck with Windows 11 users.
Right.
But that still means a huge, huge chunk of people are using the older system.
It's a massive user base, definitely.
So our mission, what we want to do today, is basically cut through all the confusion. We're aiming to give you a shortcut, to really understanding what this end of support actually means for you.
Yeah, what it means practically.
And why so many people haven't switched yet. What's the hesitation? And maybe most importantly, we'll get into the practical, specific ways you can keep your current system going, keep it secure if you're just not ready or maybe not able to switch to Windows 11.
There are options.
So the clock's definitely ticking, but let's unpack that phrase. Ending support. What does that really actually mean for someone using Windows 10 after that October date? Is it just like no more cool features, or is it more serious?
Oh, it's definitely more serious than just missing out on new features, though that's part of it too. End of support basically means Microsoft washes its hands of it, in a way. They officially stop providing any security updates.
Okay, that sounds bad.
It is. No more patches for vulnerabilities that hackers find. They also stop future updates, obviously, and any kind of official technical help.
So if something goes wrong, you're kind of on your own.
Pretty much. Think of it like driving a car where the manufacturer just stops telling you about safety recalls.
Right. Faulty brakes, software glitches in the navigation.
Exactly. Your Windows 10 machine just gets riskier and riskier to use online, which naturally leads to that big question you raised.
Yeah.
Why are so many people sticking with Windows 10? Windows 11 isn't brand new anymore.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? It's not like the upgrade isn't available for many. Our sources really dug into the behavioral reasons behind this. What did they find? Why the inertia?
Well, it's a mix of things, according to what we looked at. First off, don't underestimate sheer habit.
Ah, comfort zone.
Exactly. People have used Windows 10 for, almost a decade now?
Yeah, since 2015. Feels like forever in tech years.
It does. So they know it inside out. All the shortcuts, where files are, how things work. It's familiar. Muscle memory is powerful.
Totally. Learning a new system takes time, effort.
And that ties into the second point.
Yeah.
A lot of users complain there's a lack of significant improvements in Windows 11.
Oh, interesting. So they're like, why bother?
Kind of. They don't see a killer feature or a huge performance boost that makes the switch worth the disruption.
It's not compelling enough to overcome the comfort factor.
Precisely. They might see it as change for change's sake, maybe prioritizing stability with what they know over, a slightly different start menu.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Third, and this is a big practical hurdle, the high system requirements.
Right, I've heard about this, the TPM thing.
Yes, exactly. Windows 11 needs newer hardware. Things like that, trusted platform module, TPM 2.0, a compatible processor, more RAM sometimes. So a lot of perfectly good older PCs simply can't run Windows 11 properly. Even if the user wanted to upgrade, the hardware says no.
So it's not always a choice.
Not always. And finally, especially for businesses, there's corporate caution.
Ah, the enterprise world moves slowly.
Very slowly, and often for good reason. Think about potential downtime, critical software that might not be compatible yet, the cost and lost productivity of retraining hundreds or thousands of employees.
Yeah, the risks add up quick for a company. It's easier to just stick with what works until you absolutely have to change.
That's the calculation many are making.
It really does make you think about how much that digital comfort, that familiarity plays into our tech decisions, more than we maybe realize.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for all those people, whether by choice or necessity, who aren't upgrading, what's the safety net? Microsoft must offer something, right? You mentioned this Extended Security Updates program, the ESU. How does that work?
Yes, the ESU program, that's Microsoft's solution, or perhaps a temporary fix for those sticking with Windows 10 past the deadline. It's designed for both businesses and, interestingly, individuals this time around who can't or won't upgrade by October 2025.
So it keeps the security patches coming.
Essentially, yes. It provides critical and important security updates. Think of it as life support for the operating system's security. Now, initially, the plan sounded like it was mainly a paid subscription.
Okay.
But things have evolved. Microsoft has actually added 2 other ways to potentially get these updates, and one of them is, believe it or not, completely free.
Whoa, hang on. Free ESU. For something as critical as security? That sounds generous. Maybe too generous. What's the catch?
Yeah, there's always a detail or two to look at, isn't there? So you're right to ask about the fine print. There are 2 main ways to try and get this for free. Option 1 involves Windows Backup and OneDrive Sync.
Okay, how does that work?
Basically, you have to agree to turn on the Windows Backup feature and actively sync your user folders, like documents, pictures, desktop, and your settings, to Microsoft's cloud OneDrive.
Ah, so they want you using their cloud services.
Precisely. It gets you more integrated into their ecosystem. Now, here's the catch you were looking for.
Knew it.
OneDrive's free tier only gives you 5 gigabytes of storage.
5 gigs? That's tiny. That's barely anything these days. My phone photos take up more than that.
Exactly. For a full backup of important files and settings, 5 GB is often nowhere near enough. So if you need more space to actually use this free ESU route effectively, you'll likely need to pay for a OneDrive subscription.
Which can cost, what, up to maybe $200 a year, depending on the plan?
Somewhere in that ballpark, yes. So the ESU updates might be free, but the required cloud storage probably won't be for many people.
Sneaky. Okay, what's the second free option?
The second route is through Microsoft Rewards Points.
Rewards points, like frequent flyer miles for using Bing.
Sort of, yeah. It's their loyalty program. You earn points for doing things Microsoft wants you to do, searching with Bing instead of Google, using their Edge browser.
Instead of Chrome. Right.
Making purchases in the Microsoft Store, playing games on Xbox, that kind of stuff. To get 1 year of the Windows 10 ESU, you need 1,000 points for a license activation.
How easy is it to get 1,000 points?
It depends entirely on how much you use their services. Active users might already have enough. You can check your balance at rewards.bing.com. For others, it might mean changing some habits.
Interesting. So free, but potentially requiring you to change your browser or search engine or buy stuff.
That seems to be the trade-off, yeah.
Okay, those are some creative ways to nudge people. But what about the straightforward paid route? If you just want to pay for the ESU and be done with it, what does that cost?
Right, the direct paid option. So the figures we have seem particularly relevant for Eastern European markets, but they give us a good idea. For an individual user, registration in the ESU program is expected to cost around 3,000 rubles.
Okay, let's translate that roughly for, say, U.S. listeners. That's maybe $30, $35 a year.
Yeah.
And similar in euros.
Yeah, roughly in that range, 30, 35 USD or maybe 28, 32 EUR per year per device.
And for businesses, it's usually per device, right?
Yes, for commercial organizations, it's pricier. Around 6,100 rubles per device.
So double that. Maybe 60, 70 US dollars or 55, 65 euros per machine per year.
That's the estimate, yes. And a key point for businesses. They can extend this ESU support for up to 3 years.
3 years. Okay, that buys some significant time.
It does. But, crucially, the price is expected to increase each year. Microsoft hasn't specified by how much yet, but it won't stay at that first-year price.
So it's a temporary and increasingly expensive solution, like renting security.
That's a good way to put it. It's not a permanent fix.
All right, so that covers extending Windows 10. But what about the other path, just upgrading to Windows 11? Is that move itself free, or are there hidden costs there too?
Generally, yes. The upgrade itself from a qualifying Windows 10 system to Windows 11 is free. Microsoft really wants people to move to the newer OS.
As long as your hardware meets those requirements we talked about?
Exactly. Assuming your PC is compatible, the actual OS upgrade doesn't cost you.
Yeah.
However, there are some nuances, particularly around the different editions Home versus Pro.
Ah, okay.
If you're a business user, maybe you bought a machine with Windows 11 Home, but you need the Pro features for work.
Like BitLocker encryption or domain join.
Right. Upgrading from Windows 11 Home to Windows 11 Pro will cost you. The source is mentioned around 9,900 rubles.
Okay, so that's more like, what, 110 US dollars, maybe 90, 100 euros for that Pro license upgrade.
Correct. But, importantly, if you already have Windows 10 Pro and you upgrade to Windows 11, you'll get Windows 11 Pro automatically at no extra charge.
Okay, so Pro to Pro is free. Good to know.
Yes. And for large businesses upgrading lots of machines, they'll typically negotiate volume licensing deals with Microsoft anyway, which have their own pricing structures.
Right, standard enterprise stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we've mapped out the whole landscape now. We have the deadline, the reasons people are hesitant, the ESU options free with catches or paid, and the upgrade path. Bringing it all together, What's the bottom line? What's your recommendation for listeners trying to navigate this? How should you decide what to do?
Look, the best advice really boils down to taking a clear look at your own situation. Assess your specific needs and critically check your hardware's capabilities.
Run that PC Health Check app from Microsoft.
Yes, that's the easiest way to see if your machine is officially Windows 11 compatible. If your computer can run Windows 11 and you don't rely on any really old, obscure software that you know won't work on the new system,
Which is probably rare for most home users.
probably quite rare, yes, then honestly, upgrading to Windows 11 is generally the best path forward.
Yay! Just because it's newer?
It's the path of least resistance for long-term security, ongoing feature updates, better performance on newer hardware potentially. It keeps you in the main supported stream.
Okay. The optimal route, if possible.
Right. But, and this is a big but, if upgrading just isn't feasible for you, maybe your hardware is too old, or you do have that one critical legacy application.
Or you just really prefer Windows 10 for now.
Or you just prefer Windows 10.
Yeah.
Then the absolute key is not to just ignore that October 2025 deadline. Doing nothing is the worst option.
Yeah.
You really need to use one of those extended support options we discussed, whether it's jumping through the hoops for the free OneDrive or rewards routes, or paying for the ESU subscription.
Because the security risk is just too high otherwise?
It's critically important. Running an unsupported OS online these days is just asking for trouble, malware, ransomware, data theft. You need those security patches.
So upgrade if you can, but if you can't, make sure you get that ESU coverage one way or another. Don't just let it lapse.
That's the core message, yes.
Well, this has been really clarifying. It shows that, yeah, October 2025 is a big deal for Windows 10, but it's not necessarily a cliff edge.
Not an immediate dead end, no.
There are definite steps, actions you can take to stay secure, whether you upgrade or decide to extend the life of Windows 10 for a bit longer. The crucial thing seems to be making an active, informed choice based on your own setup and needs.
Absolutely. And, stepping back for a second, this whole situation, it really highlights something bigger, doesn't it?
How so?
It's not just about the technical life cycle of software.
Yeah.
When a company decides to stop supporting something, it really throws a spotlight on how powerful user habits are.
Yeah, that comfort zone thing again.
And also the perceived value of upgrades. If users don't see a clear benefit, they resist change, even when the tech world tries to push them forward.
It shows that user behavior, how comfortable we are, often sets the pace more than just the release of a new product.
It really does. It's a fascinating dynamic between tech companies and their users.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Beyond just the immediate security concerns and the cost of upgrades or ESUs, how much weight do you give that digital comfort, that mental energy it takes to adapt to a new interface, new workflows? How much does that factor into your long-term tech decisions?
That's a good question.
Something to think about as you figure out your own path forward with Windows.